Welcome back to CryptosRus. I am George. We're all George. So, today, what is going on with Bitcoin and crypto? Well, I do have one specific model that shows Bitcoin's path is going to lead us to $45,000. And that is imminent. It's near. But in addition, there are many other things going on today and in the world. So let's talk about all these things. Let's get started. I'm a little bit early today. Welcome. The market bell has not rung, but it will shortly. But again, the U.S. market is not looking so good. Yesterday was an absolute disaster, especially for NASDAQ, down almost 300 points. Today looks like it's going to continue. It was really bad. So we'll see. But Bitcoin, you know what? Bitcoin is still holding strong. We are a little bit lower than yesterday. Last night when I was streaming, it was about 34.7. Right now we're at 34.3, just slightly lower. But overall, man, Bitcoin has decoupled away from the U.S. market and is gaining strength each and every day, it seems like. But today, we did get this. The U.S. GDP for third quarter grew at 4.9%, which is way better than the last few quarters. So you could see going back a year, 2.7, 2.6, 2.2, 2.1, and then boom, 4.9%. Okay. Now, why did it jump up so much? Well, consumer spending, increased inventories, exports, residential investments, and government spending. I wonder if it's mostly just due to government spending. Like, I really have a hard time believing that somehow between Q2 and Q3, consumer spendings and residential investments went up that much. I'm really curious to see the breakdown. If most of that was just from government spending, because we know the government is spending like at $1 trillion rate every month right now. So that's a little suspicious. But why this is also bad is because this gives Fed Chair Powell another reason to hike up the rate next month. Okay? Somehow all this economic data, right, are turning very positive right before the next FOMC meeting. I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't think our economy is actually going upwards. It is definitely going downwards, but yet jobless claims went down recently. GDP is skyrocketing. Is this all set up so that Fed Chair Powell has excuses to raise the Fed fund rate up by another 25 basis points next month? I don't know. Maybe. He certainly has the ammunition now. So that's probably going to turn the market more red. Right now we're seeing a little bit. We're about even, but let's see where it ends. The problem is, all this is going to lead to bad things. Why did I say that? Well, look at other countries. Look at this. Turkey's central bank, okay, their rate, we thought 5.25, 5.5 is high. Turkey's central bank's interest rate is at 35%. 35%. And why is that? Because they suffer from hyper inflation. So this is the only thing they can do to just keep raising rates and keep trying to curb economic activity. That's why I hope the U.S. does not go down this path, because right now we are still spending, the debt still climbing up, and that money printing never stops, right? So hopefully we learn from these other countries, right? And we come to our senses and do something about it. But, I wouldn't put that on Congress, to fix. The only way we're going to fix it is ourselves. And how are we going to do that? Well, just opt out of it. and just go with Bitcoin. That's really the answer, because I don't know if you could trust anything. Anything that our Congress, our governments, or our central banks do, you just can't give them the trust, right? So the best way is to just simply opt out and go with something better like Bitcoin. So I use this in my thumbnail. This is a pretty telling story, okay? When we have a recovery, nothing outperforms Bitcoin. So this is year to date. Year to date, S&P 500, NASDAQ versus Bitcoin, up 100%, over 100%. NASDAQ up 30%, S&P up 9% or 10%, right? I have a feeling this is a little outdated because NASDAQ took a big dump yesterday. So, but my point is this. Bitcoin is definitely the best that we have. Okay, if you want to opt out of our current financial situation and you want to hold on to the best appreciating asset there is, well, look no further than Bitcoin, right? Flight to quality, flight to safety, flight to gains. Okay, go with Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Now, we know Bitcoin had a big jump recently, right? Obviously, I think people, this is the thing with crypto. People get used to a certain level really, really quickly. I could tell because right now the live viewers tuning in is way lower than a few days ago when Bitcoin first came above to about $34,000, right? Like, people just get used to it so quickly, and the enthusiasm just dies off just days afterwards. But I think people forget that just last week, I have to zoom out, just last week, we were all the way down here. We were down here, and now we're up here, and somehow the enthusiasm wore off. That's just not right. That's not right. But, unfortunately, crypto is 24/7, and people stare at their phones all day long, and that's what happens. But, man, we had a tremendous climb up already, but it's not over. Even October isn't over. October is not over. We still have a week to go. But what can we expect next month? Another big pump? Another leg up? Well, according to this model, yes. We are projected to hit 45,000 this November. Especially if we get some good news, like that SEC battle versus Ripple. If that concludes, we could definitely get a big pump. If we get a spot Bitcoin ETF approval, definitely get a big bump. But yeah, according to the mid-cycle Fibonacci phases, okay, according to this, if you're looking at all the phases within every cycle, if you look at what Bitcoin has done in the past and what it's currently doing, well, this projects that Bitcoin will hit $45,000 sometime in November, maybe mid-November, late November. But if we're using history as a guide, this is where we are, right? Going up to the halving event. And then, you know what? Things get really, really explosive. This, if you discount everything else that's going on in the macro, in a macro perspective or a micro perspective, and you ignore all the volatility of the markets and Fed and everything else, right? If you ignore that and you just look at how Bitcoin's moving this cycle versus last cycles, it's very, very similar. Almost no deviations. So you can make an argument that Bitcoin is just moving according to plan, like it always has, right? And 45,000 could be in the works from where we are. That's not too unreasonable to think about. 45,000. We're like 34,000. So it's 10,000 bump from here. If we get a spot Bitcoin ETF, we're going to get that 10,000 bump immediately in the same day. So I don't think that is far-fetched. Now, there is an expert trader, okay, that says Bitcoin bottom is in, and to anticipate a new all-time high in Q3 of 2024. So that's a year from now. Not this quarter, obviously. Not this Q3. But This is Peter Brandt. I remember him back in the day. He would tweet out about Bitcoin. He got very negative and then turned pro and then got negative again. He's been charting and tweeting Bitcoin for years now. But yeah, just looking at this, the drawdowns for Bitcoin from peak, goes a little bit lower every single time. So next time around in 2026, 2027, the drawdown could be only 70% or 65%, right? There'll probably be a drawdown, but it's going to be a lot less than now. But anyways, if you look at this, basically, according to him, you know what? We're probably not going to see a new all-time high until Q3 of 2024, which actually makes a whole lot of sense because that's months after the halving event. And normally speaking, that's when Bitcoin really starts moving. So yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. We're probably not going to shatter 70,000 until sometime in Q3 of next year. But, here's the thing. That's not too long. That's not too long. That's just simply, that's less than a year from now. Okay? So definitely not time to be fearful. It's time to be greedy. I've been saying that for a month now. But again, Bitcoin is just moving according to plan. But we have so much goodness to look forward to. Here's another look, how Bitcoin moves in these bases, right? We're moving off from base 1, moving to base 2, right? Base 2 is actually projected anywhere from 36,000 to 45,000, which would equate to the previous model showing us hitting 45,000, right? And then the next one's between 57 and 73. And then the next one, 119 to 150. And finally, the asterisk is where we may end up topping out in November, December 2025, around 210 and 240,000. There's a lot of models that predict that. Will we hit it? I love to see it, right? If you bought around 25,000 recently, 26,000, that's almost a 10x move. Even from today's level, it's still like a 8x move. That's still a tremendous upside, right? That's left on the table. So don't be giving up on Bitcoin. What else is there? I did see this Bitwise. They got their Bitcoin spot ETF ticker. It's going to be BITB. Of course, everyone else got one. Grayscale got one. Well, they already have one, but BlackRock has one. I think ARK has one. Bitwise has one. I mean, there's like 10 different SPY ETFs ready to go. Ready to go. They're making some amendments, which means they've been getting feedback already from the SEC. Okay? So we're right there. We got the symbol. We got the amendments to change whatever they asked for. We will get approval soon. Very, very soon. Hopefully, it's also in November. There is a deadline in November, too. So maybe we get it in November. If we don't get it in November, then we have to wait until January. But, man, I think there's like a 50-50 chance now that it could be in November. If not, just a couple more months. It's okay. It's okay. All right, so what else is going on besides Bitcoin ETF? You know what? Something that we haven't ever, I take the ever back. Something that we haven't looked at for a very long time is the Fear and Greed Index. Remember during those scary, scary moments of 2022 and 2023 when fear dropped down to 10 or 11 or 12, right? And a lot of you guys kept asking for it. Like, show me the fear index, right? Well, now we have reverse. But here's the funny thing. Right now it's at 71. Yesterday it was 72. But just last week we were in neutral at 52. Again, shows you how fast or how quickly sentiment can change. And last month we were still in fearful levels, guys. Right? A lot of people were still calling for Bitcoin to drop lower back to 20,000. Or something like that before reverse, But I told you guys to stay strong. There's no 100%ness to like, oh, it has to drop to this level before going there, right? Although a lot of chartists will tell you that. But, Bitcoin moves the way it wants. If traders start putting in money, if institutions start putting money, it's going to go up. It's that simple, right? You can't ignore, I guess, the macro environment and short-term environment. Yeah, basically. Anyways, it's looking good. But of course, this isn't just for Bitcoin. This is for an entire crypto market. And here's something interesting. A lot of you guys are holding alts. Some of you guys may be too heavy into alts. So this is interesting because it's charting the alts market cap, the entire market cap of all the alts discounted by Bitcoin, or you discount Bitcoin from it. And according to this, the alts have found the support and is ready to break upwards. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if I put any weight to this kind of charting. What I do know is logic. When you have a lot of money flowing to Bitcoin, it's going to get stronger. That's just a reality, right? Right now, you have a lot of institutions, a lot of big players that wants to dump tens of billions, hundreds of billions into Bitcoin. So, of course, it's going to get stronger. And if you look at previous cycles, Bitcoin has always moved the same way because Bitcoin leads the pack. But then, when Bitcoin periodically takes periods of, breaks, it consolidates, right? Especially when it's nearing the top, guess what happens? The money flows out of Bitcoin, and then it goes 100% into alts, and that's when the alts skyrocket. So you look at what happened in 2018, right? You see the alts market cap go up. That was the very first 2-3 weeks of 2018 because Bitcoin topped out in December of 2017. So it was like a full month of altcoin season. And I remember that was like my very first altcoin season. And I saw the likes of Tron go from nothing to hitting like $13 billion. Okay. And Cardano doing the same thing. And BNB doing the same thing. I remember picking BNB up when it was like $2. And then it's the same thing happened in 2021. Look at that big uptrend. Okay. What happened there? Well, a lot of alts did go up with Bitcoin. But when Bitcoin topped out, there was also like a peak where alts shot up a little bit more. Okay, so this time around, I feel like it's going to be the same way. But you know what? Maybe there is something to it. I will say this. Alts are much stronger now than ever before. So can we see a lot go up and trend up with Bitcoin while Bitcoin is getting stronger? Yes. We're seeing that already. Several standouts already, like Solana's having a big recovery. Chainlink is having a big recovery, right? And several other projects are also having big recovery right now. So we'll see. Maybe this is true. Maybe we will see an uptrend in alts, right? Or maybe it's okay to just let it happen. Don't try to force it, right? But I do know that there is also one meme coin that is skyrocketing. That's Pepe. But it's not just Pepe. Others have also skyrocketed as well. Not skyrocketed, but they have been trending upwards, right? Obviously, when there's a lot of enthusiasm, what's going to happen? Retail investors will come back in. The ones that never truly believed, they're only in it for the pumps, right? And that's what meme coins do. Pepe, Doge, SHIB, and you got to throw in Floki in there. And then there's so many others in there, right? Pepe definitely is leading the pack. Is grown like 50% in the last few days. SHIB and Doge still kind of stagnant, especially Doge. It's just much bigger. It's harder to move, right? But in the upcoming market or bull market, it's definitely going to. But as for SHIB, they're still moving forward. Unlike Doge, they're not just sitting idle doing nothing. Right? SHIB is moving forward. There's a new NFT marketplace called Pawzar. That I guess exploded. So this launched a few days ago, And, you know, things like this are awesome because SHIB is now full-fledged L1, right? They have a chain. They have multiple tokens powering the chain, right? They have their energy marketplace. They have a whole dApp ecosystem now. So they're full-fledged L1. They're not just a meme coin, right? So I think all these things will really help them in the upcoming bull run and not just wait like Doge, who is just basically waiting for Elon to do something. SHIB is actually pressing forward, so pretty impressive. And also, people are noticing that an indicator flashed, okay? Prior, when it flashed, it went up 118%. This time, it's flashing again. So SHIB going to have that parabolic rise once again in the future, quite possibly. I mean, they're still so far off from the previous high. So at the very least, look at that, right? Look at how many X's to get back to its previous high, and then put some more X's afterwards after it breaks through. And that's that's pretty much the same way for all the, you can look at it pretty much the same way for all the alts. Because many of them still need to do like a 5x or a 10x just to get back to previous highs. That's only the beginning. And then afterwards, right, you could bump up even more. Lastly, I saw this. Mastercard partners with crypto payment Moonpay for Web3 services. Really no surprise. Mastercard, Visa, PayPal, Cash App, like all the fintech companies and credit card companies, you know, they're all looking at either utilizing Web3 services or already using Web3 services, right? It's because it's just more efficient. It's more efficient. It's less costly. It's faster. It's just better in every single way, right? So no surprise there. All right. That is pretty much it. Man, NASDAQ is once again taking a huge, huge beating. No good. No good. Google took almost a 10% beating yesterday. It is still down 2%. Today, let's see, Coinbase. Coinbase is about even. It was a little bit higher yesterday. Who else? Let's see, like Tesla, for example. Tesla is down a little bit. Yeah, the market's not doing good right now. Mara is barely down. You know, if Bitcoin flips back up again, Mara, Coinbase, MicroStrategy, they will flip into the green. But right now it's kind of even. U.S. market is just not looking good. Not good at all. But crypto market still looking very, very, very strong. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right. 3,600 people in there. Not bad. Not bad. Love to see a consistent 5,000 watchers every single day. Let's see. Best bell in the industry. That is right. Still have not replaced the batteries in my bell. Let's see. Where's that thing? Yeah, I'll leave this up. Adam Lopez, good morning. Kay says the actual top is in 2024. I don't know. It could be. Someone else said it, but I think it's going to be 2025 according to plan. Pete Jr. says this happens to me all the time when I DCA. I DCA 1K one time and by the last 100 spent it on a dip. Okay. It's good that you're DCing. Let's see. George, Gala is up 16%. Good for Gala. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that have told me that Gala is their go-to, Web3 game platform. Some people have told me they really enjoy their games, right? And Gala was trying to get into music and movies. They're doing all these things. And they have like 4 different games that's live, and they have more they want to onboard. Gala is a good project. Now, their token economics, you could argue, isn't the greatest. There's still a lot left to be released. But the biggest problem, people can't ignore the fact that the two co-founders are suing each other and pointing fingers at each other. One says the other made moves to take control of the company, and the other is pointing fingers back, saying the other one is trying to have sold for personal gains and wants to sell more. I mean, the accusations are horrible. So you can't really trust them 100% until they get over that. But I will say that I've always said Gala is the biggest gaming platform in Web3 space. Number 2 would be Vulcan. Vulcan actually made a big move yesterday. But yeah, they're kind of there. Vulcan's like all over the place. They just release everything under the sun. But I think they're probably the second biggest. Johnny Crypto, good morning, George. Longtime listener, just became an octopus yesterday. What does that even mean? I appreciate that you're a long-term holder or long-term listener. What does that mean, became an octopus? Joe Lamas, what are your top 3 projects to stake? These days, to be honest, I'm not staking a whole lot. I just keep it. I don't know. Don't ask me why. I just haven't been. Because some of the wallets I moved to, I can't. Like in order to stake, you have to use certain wallets that allow you to stake natively, or wallets that just allow you to stake and they pass on the rewards, right? But I have my crypto spread in so many ways. It's kind of hard to stake, and I'm too lazy to move them around to make sure that I can stake them all. But I mean, really, to answer your question, any layer 1 is great to stake. You could stake all of them. If you're holding long term, you can stake all of them and collect some passive income from it. I mean, there's no favorite really. If you believe in that crypto, right? The price appreciation has outperformed staking rewards any day of the week, right? So just make sure you hold on to good ones that you believe that will go up, and you're collecting the staking rewards. Pat Jr., appreciate it, my man. 9 months member. Appreciate you staying strong and being a member. Pat, I just talked about Gala. You just kind of missed it. A lot of people love Gala, love their games, like the direction, and I do too, but I can't support it as long as the two founders are suing each other. Octopus means that you're getting so drunk you can't stand, so you're walking like an octopus with hands on straight, okay? And another definition is octopus is anywhere from 10 to 50 Bitcoins. Well, if that's the case, then congratulations. You're definitely a whale. A whale. Angel Fernandez, I watch all your streams since the bear market started. I never used to chat, but I'm always glad you stayed here for us. Thank you. Thank you for chatting and telling me that. Appreciate it. Thoughts on KDA? Why does everyone keep asking about KDA? I made contact with the new CMO, so we'll talk at some point. But right now, I'm just not a big fan of Cadena. Scooby Snacks. That's a clever way to spell snacks. Thank you. My beloved Tesla is getting nuked. Everything's getting nuked. The U.S. market is just not doing well right now. Tesla's 52-week high was 300. Now they're almost back to 200. Yeah. I saw a headline news about Mercedes. And they said how hard it was to make money on EV cars. It seems like they're regretting it. It's really hard to compete with someone like Tesla, who has enormous margins, and they could do price cuts nonstop and really put so much pressure on all other automakers in the EV space, at least. I think too many manufacturers jumped the gun, thought that they had to like release a lot of EV cars right away because like the public demanded it. I think that was a mistake by them. Jan, I appreciate you being here. I know you love your basketball. I didn't watch the opener, I should say. A lot of crypto influencers just spread FUD and shill stuff. I mean, that's how it is. That's how you get the clicks and views, right? I guess I have done it before too, but I try to minimize it at least and just try to give you guys my honest opinion on things. Have I been wrong before? Yeah, plenty of times. Um, but the one thing I'm not wrong about is holding long term and DCAing. That's a winning strategy that will win every time. There's not enough lithium and raw earth to replace every car. Yeah, that's true. Chad says, I just found out I have high cholesterol. High cholesterol is, yeah, you could get that down. I don't know about the gallbladder plot. I don't know what polyop. I don't know what that is. But yeah, you need to just start walking, my man. That's what I've been doing. Walk dedicated, not just your random daily walking like throughout the day, but you got to go out and dedicate at least an hour plus, hour to 2 hours of exercise or walking at the very least, biking, weightlifting, whatever. You got to just get out there, and then you got to cut down on your eating. It really comes down to that. It sounds so simple, right? It's just a matter of having the discipline to follow it. That's really it. Erman, I don't know about that. You're getting a little carried away with that statement, but I appreciate that. Have I seen the sphere yet? Yes, I've checked out the outside, but not the inside. The inside wasn't open yet, but I will be in December. I'll be in Vegas in December again, so hopefully I can check out the inside. Hopefully I can check out. I'll be there for Karate Combat's fight and UFC fight, so hopefully I can get tickets to UFC as well. I don't know how hard it is to get UFC tickets, and hopefully I can check out the sphere again. Wow, Jamie says, Jordan, I'm buying my new house with BTC. I'm so happy. Close on the 16th. Congratulations. Congratulations. That's what BTC can do for you and for everyone else. So, congratulations. Walking before breakfast is ideal, yeah. I do intermittent fasting for most part. I just skip breakfast. I wait until very late lunch to eat. But sometimes it's hard to do that. But I try to do that as well, or just go to the gym or whatever. But recently I've been so busy having so many meetings and talking to so many people, and I got house stuff I got to manage. Like, there's so many things. So I've not been as consistent going to the gym, but I still try to make time to go out and walk for like an hour and a half every day. Yeah, I should release the details about Vegas pretty soon. I need to solidify a few things, and then I'll be able to announce it. It'll be very similar to this time. It won't just be the party that I'm, hosting. It'll be done with KC. We'll do something with the IFC there and KC, and then we'll have an after party. But I don't know if we want it to be like a separate crypto one or one with everyone. Because between me and the other influencers, if we start pulling in, people, we could pull in a massive amount of people. So I don't know if we wanted to just do that as a meet and greet or more of a smaller exclusive VIP event. So we gotta plan that out. Yeah, I've been coughing a lot. I was sick like 2 weeks ago, and I'm over it, but I still have this nagging dry cough all the time. It's kind of annoying. Rusty Bot. Last time I just went like a few months ago. Yeah, I live streamed with the Sin City Crypto guys. A lot of people didn't like it. I was trying to have some fun there. I was drinking Blue Label on air, and thanks to David for that. A lot of people didn't like it. They just didn't get it for some reason. I'm like, chill. We're talking about aliens and everything else, and people hated it. I'm like, man, this is a tough crowd. But yeah, if I go back, I don't mind doing another show with them. All right, I think I'll let you guys go. Let's call it a night or a day. Bitcoin is still holding strong, guys, so don't ever give up, okay? Just know that there are better days coming, even though we had some really good days. Just this week's, there's going to be more. Price prediction for November, $45,000. So stay tuned for that. And there'll be a lot more moves, not just for Bitcoin too, for alts as well. So smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.